Hey, all you folks out there and friends, welcome back. This is another edition of TedTv. And today we're going to talk about a subject that's very crucial. It's called, and I believe the scenario of the worldwide big picture tells me we are literally on the eve of destruction. We are literally on the brink of our entire civilization as we know it collapsing and imploding on us. All the things that we knew and grew up with and trusted are just crumbling. They're just falling apart, disintegrating, and it seems like there's just no stability in anything anymore. So we have a number of things we're going to talk about today. First is the North Korea thing, because the North Korea thing is a really a big thorn in our side. We've been provoking Kim Jong, whoever weirdo. We've been provoking him, like kind of poking a stick in his eye for a while, and just trying to antagonize and provoke a war, but. I don't believe there any time in world history, no time in world history has there ever been this much chaos and this much danger of an outright confrontation. A limited thermonuclear war is quite possible if North Korea gets involved, China gets involved, Russia, etc. The danger is so high. I haven't looked to see what the doomsday clock is at right now, but I'm sure it's probably pretty close to 2 minutes to midnight. Doomsday clock was something they devised during the Cuban Missile Crisis, when Kennedy was trying to avert that with the Russia missiles in Cuba pointed at us. But doomsday clock was a gauge to tell you how close we are to nuclear war. Midnight was ground zero. So we're almost there now. The drums of war beat ever louder, and there's too much tension between nations. But we continue to go in there, and the U.S. of A. is the most wicked, evil, corrupt empire there ever was in the history of the world. We're constantly going into country after country after country, just like Wesley Clark said after we took Saddam Hussein out. We're going to take out several nations in 5 years. Just one after another. Libya, Gaddafi, wipe him out. Saddam Hussein, go in there, wipe him out, take over the oil fields, steal the oil. Mubarak in Egypt, another guy that was threatening to trade off of the dollar and go in there and wipe him out, assassinate him, and on and on and on and on. It just goes on and on through decades of history with every president. They support these dictators of the third world nations. They support them, they prop them up, they finance them, but then in the end, they go in and fucking assassinate them for not, complying with U.S. policy or the world monetary system or the World Bank. There's always something they're going to do to us. But the crisis now is coming at us from all fronts. We have, whether it's HARP or some other higher technology means of weather modification and weather manipulation. That technology's been around since the start of the Vietnam War, the HARP. It's some electrical thing high up in the stratosphere or troposphere where they shower a billion watts of energy into the clouds or whatever, the water vapor, and it just makes the molecules go nuts, like excites them, and it creates more vicious storms, more powerful storms, and they can create storms like that just out of thin air. So what they're doing is creating all this stuff. Hurricanes, Category 5, a case in point, we'll go back to Katrina. I believe that was August of 2005. Katrina, that was HAARP created, man-made. That was created to wipe out the entire Gulf region states and, you know, wipe out the economy, wipe out the fishermen so the waters couldn't support their fishing, and just wipe out the whole economy and displace millions of people and just get them out of there and resettle them somewhere else. Recently we had a earthquake in Mexico City. I brought probably within 5 days ago. It was an 8.2. Really incredibly powerful quake. We had what else? I mean, this is following the so-called total eclipse, total solar eclipse of the sun, which was August 21st of this year. Apparently, the eclipse was seen in its entirety. I didn't see it here, down here in Southern California. I didn't see anything. I didn't see the skies getting dim or dark. But if you're in Oregon, it started there. And it produced a dark path, 70 miles wide path, diagonally across the U.S. from Oregon to the Carolinas. Complete solar eclipse. So, and history tells us that every time a nation had a complete solar eclipse like that, it was followed by God's judgment and divine intervention. That terrible things would start to come upon us. Well, it's funny, right after the eclipse we had Harvey and Irma, and we had the earthquake in Mexico City. We had that stuff, and I think there's still more hurricanes coming up the loop in the Caribbean. So that's the natural disasters, but they're not natural disasters, they're man-made disasters designed to wipe us out. I'm speculating here that, you know, what are they going to do to us? I mean, California has 38 million people. I mean, I can't predict, and I don't know what they're up to in detail, but I suspect that they might nuke some faults. They might nuke Yellowstone. They might nuke the San Andreas Fault. They might nuke the other Chatsworth Fault in LA and trigger some earthquakes, major earthquakes, and which will lead to tsunamis, and, you know, try to wipe out tens of millions of people in California. I wouldn't put it past them if that's the way they want to deal with us, earthquakes and tsunamis. The goal is to reduce that U.S. population down to between 60 to 63 million people max by the year 2030, which is, hey, that's 12 years away. So what they really want is to eliminate 85% of the people would be dead by 2030. The next topic I'm going to get into is, you know, the economy. The economy is, wow, the economy's hanging by a thread off the cliff. The economy is about to completely collapse, implode. A total crash of the stock market. Total crash of the bond market. A total crash of all the equity markets. A total crash of the commodity markets. A total crash and wipeout of the housing market. All these markets are ripe for a complete collapse. The world bankers plan to confiscate all the assets of the middle class. World War III is now imminent. Total economic collapse is now imminent. It could be right around the corner, just weeks away, months away. We're talking serious, folks. This isn't years away anymore. This is weeks away, months away. All these death spiral scenarios that will turn our lives upside down. Our lives will never be the same again. And once the dollar goes to zero, it's all over. You will have total chaos and riots. People won't be able to buy anything. You know, it's just going to open up a whole new. And Americans are not prepared for this. They've never had to deal with anything like this. They've never had to deal with the kind of scale of the poverty that's going to result in these crashes. So just keep your faith, keep your vigilance. You know, it's all a stage. It's all a stage. It's all a play before your eyes. It's all an illusion. It's all created by the puppet masters. The evil puppet masters are creating all this chaos, all these events that you're witnessing. They create it, and then they offer the solution for you to the chaos. And it's order out of chaos. And they're just creating more and more and more chaos. So look for it. Look for it. All these disasters, and they're all false flags. They're not. So anyway, I'm going to close off, and God bless you guys.